conversation like as far as being one of the three players to come down to media days, and what was your reaction to Drake saying he wants to bring you?
Man, I was surprised. I was shocked, but I mean, I was very grateful and fortunate to be in this opportunity and just to be one of the ones that he chose. But conversation about it has been kind of like, hey, just go out there, be yourself, take advantage of the opportunity itself, just be you, go out, have fun, keep your head high, be confident about what you're saying. You know, just the ordinary tips to be able to get me over the hump on certain things.
We just heard Coach talk about losing a lot of veteran leadership. He was obviously one of those leaders last year, but do you feel more of a sense of pride or urgency to be more of a leader or show other guys, you know, what you guys need to do to be successful this year?
I wouldn't say pride or urgency, but I feel like it's my job as a brother to make sure that the younger guys or the incoming freshmen or the newcomers just to basically be on the right track, uphold the standard, and just be more confident in themselves because everybody on the team is a leader in themselves, whether it's good or bad. So just to be able to bring more of them outside, like more of them out of them, and make sure that they're confident to the best of their ability, so they can go out there on Saturdays and make an impact in the game one way or another.
Kristian, there's a lot of new pieces to this defense, whether it be from freshmen or from transfers. As one of the returning veterans, how can you kind of be the glue that brings all these new pieces together and make sure that their defense doesn't lose a step?
Just to be more aware about other people outside of myself, just to make sure that, just give them advice on whenever I can, give them tips and tricks of what I learned through football, just different experiences and whatnot, because I have been around a couple of times. But just to make sure that I'm there for them at all times, whether it's high or low.
We were talking already about legacy earlier. What is your legacy? What do you want to leave as your legacy this season?
Man, that's broad. I'm not even gonna lie to you. But honestly, I'm really just more so focused on winning and just to accomplish all the team accolades, just because if you take care of all the team accolades, then individually you will be satisfied. You will accomplish those accolades. You just got to make sure that you play selflessly.
Curious for you, did you set any individual goals for yourself this season, or is that something that might come later?
I feel like that's something that might come later. I mean, of course I got some things in mind, but it's just more important things on the line as far as just my goals over the team goals. That's not a thing.
I was talking to Brady about the 12-team playoff. You know, what kind of excitement does that build to have, you know, more opportunities to make it to that level?
Most definitely. It provides some type of excitement because, you know, it's something new. It's something that's been, I don't know if it's been talked about, but it's something that's been in the works of, and that's finally into fruition. But as far as on that end, we haven't really just been too focused on it. We're just trying to take it day by day and just finishing up summer workouts and fall camp and then the first game. So when that time comes, we'll know we'll be ready for it.
There's so much talent on the offensive line. How's it been, you know, just being in the weight room and stuff like that and talking to them, getting to know some of the newer pieces along with the guys who are already there?
Man, I feel like I already knew them. And that's the great thing about it, just because you know that things are working. You know that everybody's molding together well. Just to be able to experience that and be a part of that is something that I'm very proud of. And I mean, as a player, you would want the team to build camaraderie. Like, you would want players to already feel as if they've not arrived, but like you already knew them, basically. So I'm just very appreciative of that.
Darius Robinson heading to the NFL. Obviously, y'all will work together on the defensive line. Was there anything specifically that he taught you or left for you, and how do you plan to carry that into this season?
Man, he taught me a lot, and just to backtrack on that, he was my host coming into Mizzou, and he learned me, like, he told me about a lot of things as far as just how Mizzou works, what we stand for, what we're trying to do, the trajectory we're trying to go on, and I'm very appreciative of that from him because, I mean, he's a great ball player, don't get me wrong, but he's an even better person, and he just taught me so much about life, whether it was financials, whether it was about the game, I mean, you name it, and I mean, I couldn't ask for nothing better.
When you talk about those guys who are such leaders in this locker room, you know, D-Rob, obviously Cody Schrader, a lot of other guys, how does their legacy kind of still stick around with you guys who got to work with them as closely like that?
I mean, it's tough now that they're not here, but because it's a standard, and they helped establish that standard. And those were role models on the team. Those were leaders. Those were people that the younger guys looked up to, and I even looked up to them at one point. So it just shows you how much of an impact that they had, and proud of them. I'm very proud of them. I'm very fortunate to be a part of their team.
Kristian, you talked a little bit earlier today about how you guys are lining up against NFL caliber players every time you go out, no matter what SEC team it is. How do you feel like the additions of Oklahoma and Texas kind of add another layer to that?
It adds another layer to that just because they also have a traditionally rich history. So not only that, they also produced a lot of players going into the league, and they've been in big time games. They've experienced adversity at its high. So I mean, those are the type of teams you just can't relax on, and SEC is a competitive conference. So I mean, they'll fit just right along.
What have you kind of heard about Mizzou's history, with Oklahoma dating back all the way to the Big 8?
Honestly, I never knew it was I just saw it as another opponent on the schedule, and I'm not even looking that far, to be honest with you. I'm just trying to focus on what we got going on right now and also the first game. But, I mean, I learned that through social media, so it's new to me.
A lot of this off-season's been spent talking about Corey Batoon and what he's going to bring to the defense. But from your position specifically, there's also the introduction of Brian Early.
Mm-hmm.
What has he brought to the team, and what is your relationship with him like?
Just being more focused on the details, and also on top of that, Coach Batoon is a person he thrives on being a situational master, and also Brian Early does as well. And as a player, like, you would want that. Like, you want to be able to be in those harsh environments, in those tough situations, and know that you can fall back on your preparation more. And on top of that, as far as just being a situational master, it just teaches you how to play faster. It teaches you what's going on, when it's going on, and what are you supposed to do to be able to get through it easier. So, I mean, they've been key pieces to our organization.
You talk about a defense that's obviously, in year one under a new defensive coordinator, has a lot of new guys coming in. How helpful is it going to be in fall camp to go against an offense that obviously is pretty similar to the offense you saw last year, even built on that even more?
Man, it's going to be tough, but you want that. Like, you want that type of competition to go against each day in and day out, and it's only going to mold you to become a better player. And, I mean, I'm very grateful and fortunate to be able to line up across from them and be able to not only just build a camaraderie with them, but also just compete and help them get better as well. So, I mean, it's nothing else you could really ask for, to be honest.
Kristian, I just asked Coach Drink about the NCAA possibly limiting roster sizes, and just wanted to ask you, what do walk-ons mean, to the team, and in what ways do people not really get to know how important they are to each squad?
I mean, walk-ons mean a lot. Once they get inside the organization, you see them day in and day out. You don't even see them as a walk-on, and that's the biggest thing for me. Like, at the end of the day, they're athletes as well. They're athletic. They're smart. They can jump as high as you. They can run as fast as you. So I don't really see like the walk-on type of title, but I mean, they're very important because not only that, they have a lot to prove as well. It's many things you could look at them for, as far as whether it's time management, whether it's learning how to be able to, juggle a lot of things at one time, or whether it's just the work ethic. I mean, it's a lot of things you could pick off of them, and it's a lot of things they could pick off of you.
Is there any particular, especially on the defensive side, that come to mind in the last couple of years that you've worked alongside with?
You say again?
Any walk-ons on the defensive side that come to mind as far as doing all that stuff you just mentioned?
Tommy Martin, that's one guy, because he was my locker neighbor as well. I seen him go through it day in and day out. I seen him have to leave and go to this class. I seen him have to do so many different things, and that motivated me to do a lot of stuff as well. And I'm just very appreciative that I got to experience life with him, experience his journey as well. So, I mean, at the end of the day, it's a brother.
One last question. All right, all set then.
Gotcha. Appreciate y'all.